Welcome! Today we're going to find out if an antique cup is better than a modern porcelain cup. So I have my setup right here. I have one modern cup and all these porcelain cups. Only this one is modern, the rest is antique. And let me just tell you straight away, antique porcelain is better for tea. So why is that? Well, actually, we don't know, really. There is some stories that older porcelain, because it's been longer from the kiln, so from the stove where it was baked, the longer time it has to sort of settle down, the better it is. Or I recently heard a story that there is one of the ingredients is kaolin in porcelain, and the Chinese used a natural source of kaolin where there were other stuff in there. And supposed to be there was some water stone in there, which is good for water, makes it softer. It's also used in modern aquarias to make the water softer. So that could also be the case, but the truth is we don't know. There are no studies that have been done. I cannot show you any papers. I can show you my reaction, which I already know. Yeah, let's get straight down to it. So let's start with this modern porcelain cup. Is from Taiwan. It's just a regular one you can find in the stores there. It's not, it's not trash, but it's just a regular porcelain cup. And what I have here is an antique Chinese cup, supposed to be from the late Qing dynasty, so it's probably 100 years old. Maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more. I actually got this one for my birthday when I was traveling in Hong Kong. A friend bought this for me for my birthday. I got two of them and I'm really pleased with them. So these are the sort of base. So let's start with this. I already got some tea in my teapot here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to drink them side by side, which is also always a good comparison to drink side by side, because then you don't have to remember how the tea was. And the most important thing that we're going to take a look at or experience is mouthfeel. So as the tea enters my mouth, one of the qualities of a good tea is splash. So as it enters my mouth, it sort of needs to travel up the palate and cover my whole mouth. And if it does that, it is a good tea, but it also is dependent on your teaware. And the cup is sort of the one that you can really differentiate between the splash of a modern and an antique one. But let's stop talking and start brewing. So what I forgot to tell you is that I am using a high quality tea that I know, which is always good. Do not use a tea that you don't know. And I made it sort of lightly, so I didn't use a lot of leaf in there, so I can really taste the difference between cups and not just a really strong tea that overpowers everything. So here we go. I'll try the modern porcelain cup first. Yeah, pretty nice. It is a pretty nice tea, so to be expected. Oh yeah, this is a total different experience. So where this, the modern one sort of enters the mouth and has a sort of narrow channel in the mouth and doesn't really get to my upper palate. This one does, and covers my whole mouth, and just a general way nicer feeling than the modern porcelain one. So yeah, let's dump this out and go to the next cup. So the next cup is a tiny cup, and it has some cracks in there, some hairlines, some frits. But let's see if it is any good. I don't even know if it's Chinese. It looks Chinese. It looks very old. And one of the things that I want to see as well, because this is a cup made for the Chinese market, and this is a cup made for the export market, so for Europe basically. You can see that because it has some pictures on there and some nice decorations, where the Chinese just wanted a cup and there's some blue lines on there, and that was basically everything. Here in Europe we wanted to have some decorations, some birds, and yeah, there's a little bit of a tree and there's a dancing bird and flying birds on there. And they use different kilns as well, so let's see if the kilns make any difference. So here we go. We'll go with our regular nice antique porcelain cup first. It looks really good. Also really good. This one is a bit hotter. Also has to do with the size. This cup is way tinier. Yeah, pretty nice. It's very hard to differentiate between the two, which is a good thing. It means that this cup is good for tea. So let's move on to the next one. Oh yes, so this cup is a bit of a surprise. So when I first got it, I was like, oh, this is a really nice cup. It looks good. Don't know what age it is. But then I looked further, and this is probably from the Nanking cargo, which is basically a shipwreck cup. So this cup was on the bottom of the sea for probably 300 years, which is not good for tea. So the salt of the water gets into the porcelain, gets into the glaze, while the glaze still looks good. Yeah, let's try and see if it is good for tea and if it's actually from the Nanking cargo, because I'm not sure. So here we go. First our normal antique cup. Really good. Yeah, not good at all. So this has been on the bottom of the sea for 300 years. It immediately gets stuck on the front of my mouth. Doesn't want to get down at all. Well, this tea is really good and really wants to get down my throat. This is just horrible, and I'm not gonna drink another sip of this cup. It means that this cup is just for decoration purposes only, and we don't ever want to drink tea out of it. But it's still a nice cup to look at. So our second one is one that I really like because there's a tiny rabbit on there, and it's sort of the same shape as the Nanking cup, which I'm definitely gonna call the Nanking cup right now. Yeah, so let's see. So let's start with our normal antique cup. Yes, very good. Yeah, this one is, I'm a bit on the fence on this one. It's not particularly bad, like the Nanking cup. It's tolerable. But it's not really good either, so it's sort of on the middle. So you could use this one for decoration or use it for tea. It's not bad. But this one is slightly better. I have a feeling that this is a bit drier than this one, which is weird because it's just a cup, right? So let's move on to the next one. So the next one in our lineup is a bit special. So I got this cup when I was first starting, and I really like the size of it. But the glazing, I don't know if you can hear, maybe put it to my microphone, but it's not smooth at all. So a normal porcelain cup feels a bit like glass, and you don't hear it when you put your thumb around it. But with this, yeah, you hear something. Yeah, it just has a texture, and what I think is going on is that it is a shipwreck cup, like the Nanking cup, and it is not good at all, but I'm taking one for the team here, and I'm gonna drink some tea out of it. So, let's first do this one. Yeah, pretty nice. And here I go, wish me luck. Not good at all. Ugh. I know I'm a little bit biased, but it's, yeah, come to my house and I'll let you taste from this cup. It is horrible. It's just really dry, and as soon as it enters your mouth, your whole body goes like, and yeah, I keep this cup for decoration and sort of to remind myself that I'm an idiot and should not buy shipwrecked cups. So please don't. So let's move on to our next cup, which I'm pretty excited about because I got a couple of them. And they're really big. They're even bigger than these ones. This holds like 90 millimeters and this holds like 120, which is really nice if you have a normal size Yixing teapot. You can use this one for your this cup for yourself. I don't know how old these are. I do know that they are stamped, so all the designs that you see are stamped on there. And so it's not handmade, so it's sort of an export product, but I think it's a little bit late in the whole history of export products. But let's see if it makes good tea. So here we go. First our regular Chinese antique. Yeah. These are actually pretty similar. Like this one is a little bit hotter, but this is a bigger cup and I didn't preheat them that much. So I guess they're sort of the same. Yeah, but really hard to tell the difference, so it's good. And let's move on to our last cup, which I think will be the most interesting. So I haven't put these side by side yet. I have with all the other ones because my video was corrupted, so this is the second time I'm doing this. But yeah, I haven't tried this one yet, so I'm really excited to see. So what's going on is I got this cup from Sander, he's a Dutch potter, and he's trying to make a glaze that sort of mimics the glaze of these antique cups. So, and he says that this is pretty close. So I'm excited to try these side by side. If I have any water left. Just see where we can go with this. Let's see if this would be a normal comparison or if I need to retry this with a bit more water. Here we go. Yeah, I can still feel the splash, so that's good. Ah, yeah. Yeah, we definitely need more heat to test this one. So let me get another kettle and yeah, revisit this. So we got a fresh kettle going. Let's make some tea. Warm this up properly. It's a lot bigger than a normal porcelain cup, so it needs a bit more time to warm up. So here we go. So even though Sander is busy with this glaze, it is still experimental, and I sort of asked if I could test it. So let's see how it holds up. Yeah, this is still really good. Yeah, definitely getting there. It's a bit weird because the shape is totally different, and the rim is a lot thicker. So So splash-wise, this is pretty good. It's still not totally there, I think, and I also think that I get a little bit of a weird read because this already feels so much cooler than this. So this cools down really fast, but yeah, it is definitely an improvement over a normal cup, a normal porcelain cup. So yeah, excited to see what the end stage of this will be. But yeah, really good. So it might be that the statement I made in the beginning of this video will be false in the future, that modern porcelain cups may even be better than antique ones. So let's see. I'll keep a close eye on Sander, and yeah, I'll leave you with a hug.